On today's video, we are going to be talking about the cost of housing all throughout northern Colorado from Denver to Fort Collins. So let's jump into this video and get after it. What's up, beautiful people? Thank you so much for joining me on the channel, or welcome back to the channel. My name is Noah, your northern Colorado guide, and we're going to jump right into the information you are here for, which is talking about the cost of real estate in northern Colorado, particularly the northern corridor between Denver and Fort Collins. And I'm gonna break this all down for you, price per square foot of different homes in these areas, so you can find the best value and best place for you. So I'm gonna pull up this map right here. Now, I made this map and it basically has a whole bunch of different areas and a whole bunch of different prices of homes. Now, what I did was I specified in the multiple listing service, we are looking at a 3-bedroom home, an indeterminate amount of square feet. Now, I want to explain this because all 3-bedroom homes are roughly going to have 2 bathrooms, typically, and they're roughly going to be the same size as far as square footage goes. So we can take this information and basically pull this up so I can show you exactly where the hot spots are and talk about where you can get a little bit more home for your money. So let's jump into this map right here. And I'm going to start this off. I've got a bunch of different areas pinned on this map, and we are going to start around the epicenter, which is going to be Boulder, Colorado, right there. And you notice it is the highest price out of all of the areas in northern Colorado. The second is going to be, of course, Estes Park, and let's talk about these two areas. So Boulder, Colorado is typically going to be the most expensive place to buy real estate, or to buy anything for that matter. Let's talk about the reasons why. The first reason is because of its proximity to the mountains. Boulder sits right up against the foothills of the mountains. Your key to exploration, to adventure, to fun, and that is particularly one of the reasons why Boulder is so expensive. Not to mention, Boulder has put in many different plans as far as their city planning, their permitting department, that stops people from building or changing the roof line of the homes. Fewer construction, a lot less construction going on in Boulder, Colorado, which keeps the inventory very tight, very controlled, and it drives up the price of real estate. So those are the two reasons why you are going to see Boulder having a $1 million price tag compared to some of these other areas. And we're going to jump right up here and talk about Estes Park, secondary place. I'm going to put up some photos and video of Estes Park. It is a magical place. It's about 45 minutes from the foothills, and this place sits on Rocky Mountain National Park. So it is your gateway to Rocky Mountain National Park. It is an epicenter for people that are traveling, vacationing through this area. And obviously, you know as well as I do, any vacation destination is obviously going to be a very desirable place to live. And Estes Park is no different. Once again, all of these homes are pulled up pricing for a 3-bed home, and they all are going to be pricing of that moving throughout this map. So why is Estes Park real estate more expensive? It is an absolutely beautiful, breathtaking place to be. You're not at a super high elevation, so your winters are going to be more mild. And I mean, when you take a look at this place, the homes are stunning. You're going to get a little bit more land with your home because of the location, construction, and whatnot that you have right there in the beautiful Estes Park. Now, moving from the mountains where you're going to have the more expensive properties, you're going to hit Boulder, Colorado, and let's move on from this map and take a look at a couple of different areas. You're going to notice that the further you get away from the mountains, the less expensive real estate is going to be. That is a fact because people want to be close to the mountains. So you're going to have upward pressure on the market right there. Another factor that comes into play is the amount of construction and single family homes being built in these areas. And we're going to take a look right now at my hometown, Longmont, Colorado. Now, you notice these are all based off of median sales price, and the median sales price takes the highest 3-bedroom home sold and the lowest 3-bedroom home sold, and it is the number that directly is in the middle. So if you're shopping, you're going to see that there are going to be different homes for different prices throughout northern Colorado, but these are all based on median, so you get exactly the information you need to know. So once again, Longmont is my hometown. You're right at $567,000 mark for a standard 3-bed, 2-bath home. Once again, square footage is going to fluctuate slightly. I'd say between 300 to 500 square feet on any 3-bedroom, 2-bath home that you're going to see here in northern Colorado. So you can see by looking at this map, from Boulder to Longmont is about a 17-minute drive. And the same home in Boulder, Colorado than in Longmont, Colorado, look at that price difference. You are gonna be paying hundreds of thousands of dollars more to live in Boulder than in Longmont. Now, the differences again are just the proximity to the mountains, and obviously Boulder has the CU Boulder there, which is a mecca for college students. There's also the School of Mines, which is gonna be located in this area. So unavoidably what happens is the money is gonna start in Boulder, and as people get priced out of Boulder, not everybody can afford multi-million-dollar properties, you're gonna see the money move across the map until you get to regions like Greeley up here, right here, like Platteville, like Brighton, where you're gonna see that money get less expensive as you move across. Now from Longmont, the money is actually gonna spread out in 2 different ways. You're gonna head towards Fort Collins, you're gonna hit Berthoud. Now let me give you a quick description of Longmont. Longmont's about 100,000 people, has everything that you would need: shopping centers, malls, grocery stores, Home Depot, Lowe's, Target, Best Buy, everything's here. When you start getting to some of the smaller towns, we're talking about Berthoud. Berthoud is an up and coming place. Now you notice that Berthoud's price is slightly higher than Longmont's median sales price. And let's talk about why that is. You're also going to see that happen in Firestone, Frederick, and Dacono, as well as Mead. So this can be a little bit tricky, but let's talk about why. The reason you're going to see a higher price point in Berthoud over Longmont is because 90% of those homes sold that are in Firestone, Frederick, Dacono, or Berthoud are going to be new construction. So we're comparing new construction in these areas to where Longmont has a little bit more resale properties that are going to be available. So don't let these numbers scare you off. If you are getting value out of this video or you have any questions, my cell phone number is going to pop up right here. Do yourself a favor. Let's connect. Shoot me a text message, a phone call, or email. I get them every single day from people just like you, and I'm the one who answers the phones, the text message, and the emails. So if you have further questions, drop me a line and let's connect. Now, when we're talking about these areas and the new construction, it does throw off the numbers slightly, but I created this map for you to give you a realistic expectation of where your budget is and what types of properties you can get. Still talking about those areas, the little areas like Berthoud, Firestone, and Frederick, which are going to be mostly new construction. And it just is fitting that new construction is going to be slightly more expensive than your resale homes. Now, we talked about Boulder, we talked about Estes Park, we talked about Longmont, we touched on Berthoud, and let's keep going up the map here to Loveland. And first and foremost, all of these places are amazing. There's nothing negative I can say about any of them. I literally love them all. They're just gonna be different. So as you can see, getting further away from Denver, if you are a person who likes sporting events, who likes concerts, who wants to go to the Denver Zoo, who's constantly picking up your relatives, family, and friends from the Denver airport, you might wanna look a little bit closer to Denver, still keeping the proximity to the beautiful Rocky Mountains. So Loveland is a particularly good spot, not only from a value proposition, because they're coming in at $477,000 for the same home that it would cost you in Boulder at $1 million. Loveland's a great place. It has a lot of things going for it. There's infrastructure that's being laid in Loveland. There are new schools. Loveland is a beautiful, beautiful town. Now, another dividing factor where you're going to see the difference in pricing is to the right-hand side, which is going to be the mountain side of I-25, and the left-hand side of I-25, let's call it, which are you going to have some smaller, more rural towns. And again, you're going to see that line as a dividing point for the cost of what a home is going to get you. On the left-hand side, they're going to be a little bit less expensive. On the right-hand side, they're going to be slightly more more expensive for the same type of housing. So depending on your budget and where you want to be geographically located, there's going to be an area on this map that pops out to you. And if you want more information on it, you just shoot me a text message, a phone call, or email, and I will get you the most up-to-date information on these areas, because this map was created August 2023, but I'm available to you whenever you are ready to chat. Now, I do want to bring up one sneaky little area here. This sneaky area right here called Mead. Mead is a tiny little town located about 10 minutes from Longmont, Colorado. And this is where you're going to see some big things happening in the future. So if you want to put your money into housing, still have good proximity to the mountains, still be close to Boulder, to Denver, Mead is literally that place. It is tiny, but there is brand new construction homes getting built out there. They're revitalizing their downtown, their community. They're putting money into infrastructure and building these awesome communities. Unlike Boulder, they're actually trying to throttle growth. So areas like Mead is an awesome little place. And if you don't know about it, now you do. Now, jumping from Mead, let's go to the right-hand side of I-25. And we're going to take a look at my next area right here, which is going to be the Firestone, Frederick, and Dacono area. And I want you to pay close attention to this area. They are putting in new infrastructure, community centers, schools. They are actively pursuing businesses to move there, giving them tax breaks and tax incentives to help build that community. Unlike Longmont and Boulder, which are trying to slow down the growth, Firestone and Frederick are doing an absolutely amazing job at putting money into the growth, into making them desirable places, new sidewalks, new streets, all of the things, moving in businesses to create a very, very desirable community. Again, you're gonna notice the cheaper price on that side of I-25, but let me tell you what, it's only like another 12 minutes down 66 to get to Firestone and Frederick. And I gotta be honest with you, when I first moved here, I had my nose a little bit snubbed up in the air. I live in Longmont. The reality is that every single time I show a house out there, every single time I meet somebody out there, every time we go out there as a family, it is a great place to be. Plus, here's a sneaky insider tip. The view of the Rocky Mountains is actually better from Firestone and Frederick because you're a little bit further away. Longmont and Boulder sit so close that you don't get the full spectrum and majestic views like you would in Firestone or Frederick. Now, we talked about Firestone or Frederick. Let's jump into my next little hot spot, which is going to be Johnstown. Let me tell you what, again, new construction, a lot of building going on, a lot of development going on in the small town of Johnstown. Now, again, it is just to the right of I-25, going to be keeping the real estate values less than on the mountainside of I-25. Again, great town, great schools, amazing location, super easy access to I-25 if you want to get to Fort Collins or Denver to catch a Broncos game, Avalanche game, see concerts. It's really a great location. It's also super easy to shoot up 34 to get to access to the beautiful Estes Park and Rocky Mountain National Park, where you have untapped adventure. Oh my gosh, it is the best part of living in Colorado. Well, there's three best parts, and this is going to encompass all of these areas. You have untapped adventure, outdoor nature. It's amazing. If you are not an outdoor person, you will be one because it's just so beautiful. The mountains, the nature, the wildlife, and let's not forget the untapped adventure that is always waiting for you right there when you get off work or on weekends. The second reason is going to be the community and people. Every one of these towns you go to, you're going to meet people just like you who have relocated, who have given up their lives to chase the dream of living in Colorado. I said three, and now I can't remember the third one, but we're just gonna keep chugging through this video. So another area that you're gonna notice, which has the least expensive real estate on the map, is going to be Greeley, Colorado. Now Greeley, so I'm gonna tell you right now that I do invest in real estate. I've got all my money parked in real estate. I research these things meticulously, and I feel very comfortable saying this. You're gonna have certain areas that are gonna be better than others if you want to capture equity in your home. home, which means you're not buying a home and you're gonna stay there for 30 years. No, you're gonna buy a home there, you're gonna capture the equity because of these growing communities, people wanting to move there, creating a more desirable place to live, and then you're gonna sell it and buy your dream house, all right? It's pretty much that simple. But Greeley more so than Platteville, again, they are primed for a huge amount of growth over the next 5 years. And all of these places are. So if you're like, I wanna move somewhere that's not gonna grow, that's gonna stay the same, then don't move to Northern Colorado, because people are finding out about this beautiful place. They're coming to visit and they're saying, why the heck am I living in Michigan, South Dakota, Florida, Texas, California, New York, when I can move to this beautiful location, get paid very, very well. We notice most people moving in are gonna get a bump in their company as far as their income, but then they get to be here, and it is, like I said, we meet people all the time. Very rarely do I meet anybody who was born and raised in these areas. So Greeley is primed for growth, and I want to explain this and explain the Greeley phenomenon, the Firestone Frederick phenomenon, the Johnstown phenomenon, and we'll actually throw Windsor in there as well, because right above Windsor, right up here is Fort Collins. So Windsor is going to be closer to Fort Collins, a little bit of a higher price point, but I mean, we're talking, these houses are immaculate, on golf courses, water parks, you name it. When we're talking about Greeley, we're talking about Platteville, we're talking about Firestone, Frederick, and Dacono. A couple of major things are happening in these communities. The money is, of course, going to start moving right here from Boulder. You get priced out of Boulder. Where is your next place you're going to land? You're going to take a look at Erie. Again, Erie is amazing. I have other videos on Erie, Colorado, on Berthoud, on Loveland, so make sure and check those out. You're going to be looking at Erie. Man, I got priced out of Erie. No problem. Look, you just go right down the road. You're talking about 10 minutes and you're in a way more affordable area and looking at new construction than a resale home. These areas are going to considerably grow as people get priced out of Loveland, as people get priced out of Berthoud. It's going to force people onto that right-hand side or the non-mountain side of I-25. The growth is going to benefit you as a homeowner, is going to benefit you as part of the community, because you're going to be able to take advantage of the appreciation that comes from a community that was infancy stages as far as growth. So if you purchase a home there, you will see higher appreciation values in those areas than you are going to see in Longmont or in Loveland, because they are building. They're at the building stages. New streets, new sidewalks, community centers, libraries, new schools, fire stations, EMS. They are building the infrastructure and they're ready for you to come check it out. So this is the time in the video. If you've stayed this far, take your finger, hit the subscribe and bell notification so you can be notified when I release my next video. This was a comprehensive look at the cost of real estate right here in beautiful Northern Colorado. We'll see you beautiful people on the next video.